so much for being here. Thank you for not messing it up, because you know we've all loved this show for 5 seasons now, and then you come in, you know you're the final season, you know, and not only do you live up to the hype, but really this might be my favorite season. Yeah, it's really fantastic. Yeah. This is largely an audience of your fellow actors. Congratulations, you're both nominated as part of the SAG Ensemble. And Elizabeth, you are individually nominated, obviously, and you won the Golden Globe and the Critics' Choice Award. Yeah, sure. I have to imagine, you know, you don't know how people are going to react when you put something out into the world, so that has to be a validating or reassuring, at least to some degree.
Yes, it's been very reassuring. It's sort of come at the end of the journey, in which I spent most of it terrified. So it's been an interesting kind of, a very lovely kind of way to close out, perhaps close the door on the fear. So yeah, I was extremely surprised. I mean, it's been so lovely.
How did you both feel going into this, knowing it would be the final season of, you know, one of the greatest shows of all time? Pressure's off now.
It still makes my, like, everything go, wait, what was the question? See, this is what my brain just flatlined. Yes, it is.
What it was like going into this season, knowing it would be the last.
Oh, well, I had a real and long journey with season 5, in which I shot a lot of scenes, and I actually shot that, I think, for about 7 or 8 months. I was on set, and that was a long immersion process for me. And then I had a few months, and then we went into this together. So I felt extremely, looking back, I realized it was just the most beautiful gift anyone's ever given me as an actor. This total, so much of this job for me was there are technical elements that require muscularity, and when you do something for that long, then you take a little hiatus and you try not to think about it, but of course you do, and then you have another attempt at it. And when you have a scene partner like this, it was the greatest sort of run up to just fly with it, you know. And that, I've never had a job like that before, and I think because I had so long, and then I had this amazing human to work opposite, and the material that we had, and the weight of the story that sat, you know, so deeply in our hearts, that was just kind of an amazing place to be swimming around in as an actor, a real gift.
And for you?
I mean, you know, again, I mean, it just, I mean, right from the beginning, everyone has been wondering, are they going to do Dodi and Diana? Are we going to get to this stage, right? And so then when you find out that you're all cast to be that, it's on the one side a huge honor, and on the other it's terrifying, but you also have to live up to the responsibilities of it, you know. Similar to what we were saying earlier, you know, millions of people around the world have shed tears over this, and you know, when I describe what I feel we did together, in some ways I kind of think it was a bit of a pilgrimage, really. You know, you're carrying something sacred, both in relation to them as people that lived and breathed on this earth, and in relation to audiences and people around the world. People, rightly so, deeply care about this.
Yeah.
And you know, it's funny because in season 5 we were kind of weirdly kept at a distance.
Yeah.
And I remember, you know, the first time I met Elizabeth, and it was in a read-through. We were during COVID, and it was like, you know, this world where you really can't be close to people and all of these kinds of things. But there was just this sense of, oh my God, we're going to have this journey together. And then we didn't really have our first proper conversation about what we were about to do until we were about to enter season 6.
Wow.
And I just remember we had that first conversation. It was like, thank God. You know, because we had you know, a special relationship, but also we saw eye to eye about what we felt we wanted to bring to them.
Yeah.
And that was, you know, it's, as I say, like a pilgrimage. It's like, you know, you climb a mountain with someone, when you come down, that's it. Something has happened between you that stays forever.
And the first 4 episodes of season 6 really do focus on this relationship in those final months and how intense and complicated it really was. I'm wondering, as actors, did you have a way to prepare for shooting such emotional scenes? I mean, I just wonder if at the end of the day you would go home exhausted.
You know, we were very fortunate actually that we shot this almost in chronological order,
Oh, wow.
which was also, that's, I mean, because we started shooting season 6, am I wrong? We started shooting season 6 on the boat. So we really, you know, it was slightly out of order on the boat because it's just a boat going round and around the same bit of ocean. But we had the sort of, that fertile beginning of the relationship, you know, it was quite chronological. And then, so by the time we were in the car together and by the time we were heading to the Ritz scenes together, we had already been working for about a month or 2. I think that informed, of course it informed the acting, but really on just a human level, we completely trusted each other by then, and we were fighting for the same things, and we were just completely, I've never had an experience like that with an actor before, where you just feel completely symbiotic, and thank God I felt like that, because I felt so safe to do the work that I had to do. And by the time that Ritz scene, which was quite a long few days of shooting that, you know, we understood what we were putting into the world through the medium of drama, but it came with a heavy burden of responsibility that we took seriously, and also a cost to our hearts. And so we would often work through the scene, playing against the story, and then we would sit in the makeup chair. This I remember very clearly happening frequently. We would sit in the makeup chair, or the funny little like English hotel pub that we'd be staying in for, you know, a night somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And it would catch up like a wave about 2 or 3 hours after we wrapped the scene. Because the characters don't know the story they're in, but we do. It's that layer on top of it. So yeah, we would just sort of sit in the makeup truck, and then you could sort of feel one of us, our bodies would register the grief of the thing, and then, but we had each other to do that. It's a really unusual job.
But you know, one of the crazy things in a strange way is that, you know, those 6 weeks, I mean, it's one of those weird things. So their relationship from beginning to end was 6 weeks long.
Wow.
They met July 14th and died August 30th or 31st.
Wow.
But the truth is they had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so we, you know, despite the fact that obviously it's all deeply emotional stuff, we actually got to have their fun, you know? And, you know, the boat, I mean, God, the difference between the day when we arrived to the boat about to do these scenes, you know, that are so iconic and have lived in people's minds for so long and lived in our minds and all of that kind of thing. And, I was terrified. I remember, you know, this is a story I don't tell very often about it. I arrived on the boat, and this is supposed to be my boat. And I arrive on this boat, and I'm like, everything about this boat is telling me I don't belong here. And I'm in this, I don't know, have I ever told you this story? And I arrive in this boat, and I'm in this green room, and it's like, and the linen's perfect, and even the linen's telling me I don't belong here. And I look at the linen, I look at the bed, and honestly the solution was, I
think we felt very free.